draft. Kev, where are we going for game 3?
We're going all the way to the forbidden lands of the Sky Temple. Is that
Trying to be a
enough
Futurama
intro?
right there. Yeah. Welcome to the world of tomorrow. Yeah. I like that. The Sky Temple. We should do that. And already, yeah, they're off to the races. Let's get into the draft because this is for all the money, all the marbles, and the bragging rights. What will happen between Complexity and Pool Plato Some Tangos on Sky Temple?
Well, already we see Pool Plato Some Tangos getting the first pick, first ban. They take out Kerrigan. They pick up Sylvanas. Meanwhile, Complexity takes out that ever-terrifying Zeratul. And they now have to pick up their first and second pick. Ooh, shall they pick up Jaina? Most likely. Maybe a Tassadar?
Victory for the Forsaken.
Well, it's Sky Temple, so you're likely not to see a Johanna and Azmodan, because this would be the point to take it from Complexity. Sylvanas is already out, so yeah, it should just be like Jaina and Rhaegar? Mirrodin?
Yeah, could be any of those supports as well. I mean, it really, like, at this point, it's just what they really want to emphasize. Of course, on this map, you always have to keep in mind, double support's really good, because you just have to sustain through massively long shrine fights, temple fights. I always call it shrines, temple fights. And you also want to really emphasize AoE. AoE damage is so good. So Jaina, Sylvanas, both of them very good at this game, at this level, because Sylvanas with the Wailing Arrow, really great AoE silence, and Jaina, her blizzards, her water elemental, everything else she offers, so good. Ooh, going for the Song of Ice and Fire, picking up Kael'thas.
I wasn't expecting to see both mages picked up here. I mean, it was definitely a thought in the back of the mind, but I think I would have rather preferred solidifying your support, because now you have to go through their 2 picks and 2 sets of bans in order for another pick round here from Complexity. But, you know, I guess they're prioritizing that damage. Johanna going to be the pick here for PPST, and they're actually going to pack that into a Tassadar. Now, Complexity shouldn't be afraid of an Azmodan this map. I'm not really feeling it.
From order comes
That's
justice.
not quite true. Remember that we can have a Johanna and a Tassadar without needing to go for the stack build. You can get the stacks later on, but Azmodan totes a lot of different advantages other than just the globes. The globes are nice, but he also has that promote that's absolutely global. And remember the second set of shrines that pop up, the temples, I got this. Temples that pop up, bottom. So everybody starts fighting bottom. Azmodan starts throwing those generals of hell all the way in the top, and that's a lot of damage you can really use to your advantage.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting to see the Azmodan ban, and they don't. It will be the Rhaegar ban. Complexity knows that they got first pick. Could they go for the double supports with the double mage? That would leave us with Brightwing or Lily for PPST.
Yeah, that would be really brutal. I don't know about that though. I mean, you could go for the Malfurion and Uther.
Those are the 3 right now.
Yeah,
Rhaegar,
that's what I'm
Uther.
thinking. Yeah, Malfurion and Uther.
But to say, like, if we shoot ourselves in the foot and actually ban out another support here, PPST could be in a bad situation. But it'll be the Mirrodin instead. Johanna's already out on the table. This will lead us into either Nubrak or Tyrael for Complexity. And I don't think they're going to really... So, double healer Tyrael. What do you think of that?
I don't really agree with it. I would say double warrior, double mage, and a healer, like a Malfurion.
So
because
Tyrael,
remember,
Nubrak?
when you have the double warrior, there's the Malfurion. If you have the double warrior, you set up like that wall, and then Jaina and Kael'thas just wail away from that wall. It's like a castle embattlement, right? You don't want them to get to the back line where your archers are. You just kind of have those 2 warriors sit in front. If you go for double support, though, then everything becomes a little bit more fluid, and it's not really the best situation for a Kael'thas. Kael'thas is not like having to move around a lot because, well, he doesn't really have that many escapes. Jaina's got the ice block, but Kael'thas, he's got nothings. He's got nothings. So, until 20. So, it's a little less advantage for him. I think the double warrior would probably work best.
It's either that or Tyrande.
Tyrande could also work. Wow. Okay.
Fair
enough. They go for super range damage. So they're just going to wait and kite.
Will this prompt now a double warrior? We have already a Tassadar out there. Well, sure they can. I'm talking about Pool Plato. Pool Plato could easily pick up a Nubarak, Tyrael, whatever, to go with the Tassadar plus healer. They're basically stuck into an Uther at this point. If it's not going to be that, then it's going to have to be something more damage-oriented. And who else is kind of left at this point? Zagara, Falstead, or a melee like Kerrigan?
Falstead. I think Falstead would probably be best, as well as just the Uther that they have to pick. They have to pick Uther at this point. So it's Uther and what? And I feel like Falstead's probably going to be the best one here. But you have to look at just how much damage potential they have already. With the Tassadar and the Sylvanas, it's okay.
It's not about trying. It's not about trying to out-damage a triple triple assassin comp from complexity. It's about living through the burst so that they can return the damage.
Yeah, but living through the burst only does so much on a map like this where sustain is so important.
Oh, Kerrigan's banned. Can't be a Kerrigan. Duh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be like a Falstad.
Can't go Butcher. So that would leave you into either Illidan or, Illidan, Zagara, or Falstad. If they go Zagara, they might not have enough damage. They go Falstad, sure, they have some burst,
no,
but...
Zagara has merit, though. You get the Zagara, you maw the Malfurion in the middle of his Tranquility.
I'm not entirely too sure of the chances here from Pool Plato. They got survivability, but they're not really able to deal damage, and with the Malfurion pick from Complexity, you know that Malfurion's going to be able to, be in it for the long haul. They are going to take the Falstad.
I think Falstad's a better pick.
So is this a Nubarak or Tyrael? Tyrael feels like the better pick because of the engage potential.
Yeah. Tyrael would be very brutal. I think a Nubarak, yeah, because you have to have the beetles to sustain for a little bit longer. You have to have something big and beefy in front. Because if you go for Tyrael, look at how squishy that is. He's so squishy. But if you pick up the Nubarak, then you've got the beetles that helps heal up. You've got your shields, you've got everything else. I need to get into this lobby, don't I?
Yes, that would be good.
So
it is going to be the Nubarak.
Yeah.
It's the triple DPS up against the 2.5, more or less, with that Tassadar. It's going to have to be an Archon. Likely to see a Divine Shield cleanse combo, Uther then effectively having 2 cleanses ready for the team. Tassadar can just survive through prescience and the dimensional warps. Johanna's going to have a heck of a time, but how many spell shields can we get on this? Uther can get it, Johanna can get it. I think Sylvanas can get it as well. Might need to.
Yeah, they're going to need as many spell shields as possible. Yeah, they need a lot of spell shields.
I don't think Falstead can. So let's take a quick look over to Heroes Fire.
Over to where?
Heroes
Fire? The number one place where I get to go check out all of the builds possible? No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. You're right. Tassadar, I don't think can either.
No, Tassadar can. But he's got
prescience, yeah. You don't need it for him. I lied. He can. He doesn't need it. Not with the prescience.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I think I knew that he could, but who cares? He got prescience, buddy.
Prescience. So, not entirely too sure what we're waiting on. Nothing. Great. Let's jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 hype. Sky Temple. The drafts are out. Take your pick. Place your bet. Complexity or Pool Plato some tangos. A very damage-heavy comp coming out of Complexity, but the Pool Plato's got some pretty good survivability under their belt.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very tough game to call just from compositions alone. Both of the compositions have very strong merit in different ways, and that's what I'm really curious to see. It all comes down to the execution, of course, and that's a lot better than the compositions we saw last game, where chess kind of seemed like it was an immediate composition loss from Complexity's side. However, this game looked a lot more even, and I'm very curious to see how Complexity is going to be able to take this game. They won game number 1, they lost game number 2, so they are on a little bit of a tilt. So looking at the left-hand side, it's Complexity. In the blue, Caterpillar, Blinks, Hans, and McIntyre. Of course, rounding at the bottom is Trummel.
Trummel with the triple trouble. Rip Vikings as a side note. My God. All right, so on the right-hand side, it will be the guys that tied up the series and looking for their win here into the finals for the game money match. B-Kid, Prismaticism, Tiger JK, Apollo, and King Plato make up your Pool Plato Some Tangos team.
Now, I'm very curious to see how both these teams are going to play. As I was mentioning before, already we see B-Kid going up into the mid-top, but at the bottom, look at this crazy nonsense going on down here.
Normally, you would see people kind of hanging out in the mid looking for a composition reaction, but nope, it's all about bottom. If they had cleaned up Trumbull there as well, it would have been a very interesting shock factor at level 1. But they're not exactly going to get it this round. Still, a lot of damage. That should pave the way for King Plato a little bit later, especially when the tributes, not the tributes, the shrines are going to pop and the temples will be active.
Yes, that's, I believe, what's really going to be the most interesting. And that's why I think Falstad is such a good pick here. Apollo can immediately fly up there as soon as he's needed. And we saw that in the Cursed Hollow game. Unfortunately, we saw, I think, a little bit of a delay between when Trumbull was actually going into the fights. But Apollo might just want to learn from that lesson and get there a little bit earlier, be on time. Meanwhile, they can still pressure this bottom for as long as possible, and Apollo can soak for super, super long before he's needed in the mid.
B-Kid and Caterpillar are the guys just kind of going at it back and forth into the top, the wet noodle fight, so to speak, and the Complexity's hand has been forced into defending the bottom. They're going to leave Apollo down here. Is that a Q build? It's not. It's composite arrows from Trumbull, so I don't think they're really going to be able to, give up this lane. I don't think Trumbull can really leave.
Yeah, I don't think Trumbull can leave either. I think this is just going to be a fight back and forth, but that could easily turn into a 5v4 in the mid against Complexity. If Cool Plato Some Tangos says, hey, come on up here, we need your help, Falstad, he's going to be able to get there very, very quickly.
All right, a little bit of damage going back and forth. Han's actually whiffing that flame strike.
Oh my god, Trumbull in the bot lane almost got taken out by the coming back, the Hammerang coming back again. That was so close.
Level 3, about to hit level 4. A few shots have been taken from the tempo here mid. Just a little bit over half remaining. Caterpillar is now going to be taking some shots there top as well. Tiger JK is just holding down that lane. Level 4s, what do we got? Well, puncturing arrow for the Vala. I guess she is kind of going to dig in for those duels, but we had a fly top from Apollo. So this should be a middle point going the way of Complexity.
Yeah, so that's going to be a very nice split between the two teams. Just going to trade out the temples, which is what most teams, I think, really often do at the very beginning. And then after this is, I feel like, when we're going to start seeing some crazy roaming or maybe some really strong pushing coming out there from Cool Platos.
Looks like Apollo's a little bit concerned with his dueling potential. He did go for the power throw first, but his level 4 is Flow Rider.
That's a very interesting decision.
40% cooldown.
I guess that allows him to get in and out very quickly.
Well, what we've seen a lot is updraft at level 1, which is the 30% range increase. We don't really get to see a lot of Flow Rider, but level 7 as well could lead you into a barrel roll for free. I'm curious to see if it'll be that first aid or the boomerang.
Apollo and Trumbull both so low here in the bottom lane. So scary.
Yeah, remember, Trumbull with that puncturing arrow has a little bit of an edge when it comes to dueling.
He does, and that's the scary part about it. Apollo, though, of course, Falstad's a very, very strong dueler himself.
Now, one thing that we have been seeing, especially in Titan Arena, is that iDream on... Whoa, Trouble! iDream on the Falstad became a little bit of a mage killer. Like, he was able to out-duel Kael'thas multiple times. I'm curious to see if this last pick, Falstad, is going to be assuming a similar role. Because, look, he has Power Throw for the range, Flow Rider for the utility, and now First Aid for the survivability.
Yeah, 35% of your max health over 6 seconds. It's such a great clicky for Falstad. Keep them alive for so long during those team fights. You think you're about to kill him, and all of a sudden he gets so much health so quickly. First Aid is one of those great talents. Mule coming down there on the Tassadar as well. So he's just picking up Conjure Pursuit, Mental Acuity, and then Call Down Mule. He's full flex support here, just providing so many different things for his team.
Now we do got a lot of defense now invested in the top here from Complexity. Pool Plato Some Tangos will throw King Plato himself into the top. Tiger JK is there as well. Looks like they're just going to try to wipe out each other's bruisers. Probably going to be a big fight bottom because I don't really see a victor coming out of this one for a prolonged amount of time.
Yeah, I don't really see anything too crazy coming out here. Apollo's just going to stay here, and that's exactly just that awesome merit of having a Falstad on your team. But Tiger JK and King Plato are taking a bit of time to actually go down. They might just keep pushing this lane. Look at Complexity now responding to that as well.
Yep, Complexity can't go for the bottom. He got Nubrak down there. King Plato actually could be in a little bit of trouble. Looks like he's will eventually be all right. There wasn't enough of a CC train, and the roots are not going to hit Apollo because of the cleanse, and he will be A-okay as well. Now, here's the big advantage of Falstead. He can easily fly bottom and start working his way on this temple, and it does look like between B-Kid and Prismaticism, they have forced Caterpillar off the point. Complexity is going to be really slow on the uptake here.
Yes, and that's what just that awesome play allowed them to do. But even then, Caterpillar has taken a good amount of the shots here of this bottom temple. His ability to keep popping out those little scarabs that soak up so much damage, look at how well he's able to survive there. And interestingly enough, he also didn't go for the level 7.
The leeching scarabs?
Yeah, leeching scarabs. He went for the bed of barbs. He really wants to just take somebody down. A lot of crowd control coming out from him. He also got the extended spikes at level 1.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a controlling Anub'arak here with the extended and the bed of barbs. You don't get to see that a lot, but level 10 is here successfully for Complexity. We saw a lot of shots into this bottom. Finally, the mule is going to be coming back. Jaina losing out the fight top. Apollo.
She had level 10.
Yep. And Apollo still took her to home.
Well, the water elemental though. Oh my god, the water elemental though. And that's with that buffed water elemental where it normally would just start auto-attacking anything. You can now control it after death as Jaina. It's so good.
So good. So good. Strafe here for the Vala as well. So, so far, Apollo has really just kind of, tried to be dueling out a lot of these mages. Has now successfully dueled out Vala, has now dueled out McIntyre. All you got to do next is duel out Hans for the trifecta.
Yes, and taking out Hans is a huge win for them. Look at the level 4 talent for Hans. He's got that gathering power. You want to take out gathering power as often as possible. You don't want to let Hans start getting a lot of stacks of that. Right now, he doesn't have any right now. But later on, Hans is going to be the one to kill.
Trummel's now pushing up the bottom lane. Apollo is going to be here, just kind of throwing out the hammer, looking for any kind of cleanup. You got McIntyre top. We have mules on both sides. Didn't actually notice the Malfurion mule. But a little bit more pressure not coming down. Just going to try to limit the amount of usefulness that mule will provide. King Plato, Prismaticism, the rest of the crew, they're going to go right behind. McIntyre's stuck in a sandwich. Silence, Arrow, and B-Kid. Not even funny.
Yeah, Hanzo coming up here. Can he defend that much? I don't think he really can. Temple's now up in mid and bottom. And this is going to be a really nice trade because already Complexity said, fine, you take the top fort, we'll take the bottom. They've got their siege giants already there as well. They will pick out that bottom fort. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade as Pool Platos takes out the top fort as well.
Yeah, but the big difference is 2 kills going over to, Pool Plato. Apollo is actually still out dueling Trummo here. The barrel roll forward, and Vala not even needs to taste that Hinterland's blast. Just gonna go straight down.
Yeah, this is a really strong build coming out there from Apollo, and this is actually a really cool point about Falstead. He's such a good duelist. Meanwhile, looks like there's gonna be a little bit of a fight here in the mid. I don't know if anybody's really gonna go two-hand B-Kid taking a bit of damage.
All right, so Apollo still has that Hinterlands, remember. All they need to do is just have everyone line up, get a good shot off. You saw the bed of barbs actually in this top area, just kind of persisting. It makes life a little hard to run around if Caterpillar's just going to be barring out your escape. But still, does not look like it's going to be a big engage here mid. The rest of the shots are going to go over to Caterpillar and crew, and it does look like Pool Plato is at least heading down into bottom. They're not making big shots for this tempo. Finally, Prismaticism will throw himself onto it, but the rest of Complexity is not going to be far behind.
Yeah, and actually there's a little bit of time between when that's going to start and when Tiger JK is actually going to be able to get down here as well. So they are going to be not at full fighting potential until they get Apollo down here. Tiger JK finally down here. And here we go. This could be a huge team fight. A very nice set of roots going down there on King Plato. He will have to use his Haunting Wave to disengage. A Phoenix going down here from Hans, doing a good amount of damage. Now Hans still doesn't have any stacks of gathering power just yet. Pool Plato yet again having to use the Haunting Wave to get out, but oh my god, so much damage on B-Kid. There's a huge Divine Shield. They actually pick up Sylvanas though as that's going down, and a double kill, triple kill. Is this going to be a quad and possibly the penta? Apollo, don't think he's going to be able to duel this one. Trummel does pick up the kill there. Prismaticism goes down. 5 people have fallen.
This is almost guaranteed a boss right here. I mean, they pick up not only the enemy Stone Bros, they're going to get into boss. There's still a tempo up that they can go uncontested. What an amazing set of team fights right there for Complexity. I mean, they poked and poked King Plato way out of position. Did we even get a silencer out of that? The Wailing Arrow, well, it went off, but I didn't really see it get a lot of value. And, you know, with that prescience, it wasn't enough. The spell shields wasn't enough. And Complexity just absolutely manhandling that fight.
Yeah, they did a very good job of turning that fight in their favor. That was just some very good targeting. They put all their damage on B-Kid. The Divine Shield went down. They immediately swapped targets. And that was the smartest thing they could have done, because you can't fight a Divine Shield. You actually literally can't do damage to somebody who's a Divine Shield. So they immediately turned all their damage to somewhere else, because Tiger JK could save one person, but not 2 at the same time. It's a problem with Uther. And they were able to pick up that first kill. Then they immediately killed Johanna. It was a very, very nice set of rotations coming out there from Complexity.
All right, the rest of the tower shots are going to land on top of this top fort. It is looking very frail at this point. Level 16 advantage going the way of Complexity. We're still not quite there. For the Pool Plato Some Tangos team, they are going to have to play it a little bit more defensively, see how much soak that they can get. But we do got the double bruisers into the top. They're going to be facing off a little bit, but Complexity kind of outnumbering them at this point. And as I said, you cannot really put up that front line until you have the 16. Now we might start seeing some aggression, but still, everybody's still so split here from the Tangos.
Yeah, but keep in mind, that level 16 talent we saw in Falstad, ooh me, oh my, let's start seeing some really good Hinterlands Blast. Overdrive does so much damage. Tear it up with that Hinterlands Blast, and that could easily turn a team fight into their favor. The only thing they have to deal with is that Kael'thas. Now, he's got the Ignite.
Oh, what a waste of a mule. It's just going to get hit by that Phoenix, and down it goes. Not a value mule whatsoever right there. Trummel able to just kind of do enough damage with arrows and the shots in order to take down the towers. Level 17, 16. Next set of temples still a little bit away. Pretty sure. And, you know, something to note, tenacious roots here for the Malfurion as well. Those roots are going to get some good value, especially with that Elun's Grace level 4.
Yeah, they have, I mean, we already just saw them go down. They just covered so much of a lane. They are just so good at being able to grab so many people at once. B-Kid now getting engaged upon yet again, using the Iron Skin to disengage. There's the Hinterlands Blast. Oh my god, it does so much damage, but Sylvanas still falls. They weren't able to really follow up that burst damage from the Falstad. Prismaticism has to use Prescience, is trying to disengage, but I don't know if it's going to be possible.
No, he's basically on his own at this point. Divine Shield on top of the Johanna. Tiger JK with the strafe. He will get the stun and trade it out. Actually, will Tiger JK live through it? No, the range increase on that. Moonfire is enough to put him into the flash of light mode. Here comes the big ice blocks, and Apollo and B-Kid should be able to take that one home. Hans and Caterpillar left with their own devices. Finally, the Tastar's down, but McIntyre's nowhere near the rest of his team, and Caterpillar is going to drop.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of anger on those comms. I'm pretty sure McIntyre was just going back to laning in the mid, or possibly going for the shrine. He killed Tassadar, but I think he took a little bit of time to get back into the fight, thinking that they were going to be able to disengage.
Well, they unfortunately wouldn't, and couldn't, and didn't.
Yeah, they do lose a good amount of members there, and that's going to be only 2 fighting members of Complexity here on the map. They're going to grab that top shrine for a couple of seconds, but now they have to go back. 3 fighting bodies out here for Pool Platos. Can they grab one of these shrines, start doing something? Looks like Apollo in the bot lane trying to get a little bit more soak and just push out this bot lane for a bit of time.
Yeah, King Plato as well. I mean, with that Unstable Poison and now the Lost Soul. No, sorry, the Cold Embrace. Lost Soul's level 1. He also has not Barbed Shot. You know, we saw a lot of, you know, the Zuna build for Sylvanas over the weekend, but this time it's a little bit more, I don't want to say it casual friendly, but, you know, pub style. Kind of Sylvanas, you know, with the wind, in Venom, Unstable Poison. But between the Cold Embrace, Unstable Poison, King Plato's been clearing out these waves like a boss.
Yeah, they've been able to do a good amount of damage using all of those together, but Unstable Poison, I think that I've been liking the Shade Form a lot more lately. Oh my god, the damage, but the Wailing Arrow doesn't really hit anything at all. King Plato trying to use the Haunting Wave to get back. And there's a lot of damage going on here on B-Kid. I don't know if he's going to survive. No, he gets taken out. The tranquility is just too much. They have to get away from this fight.
Yeah, I don't know where Prismaticism thinks he's going to be going because he's once more split from the team. King Plato and that Venom so very close to taking Trummel to town, but Blinks had his number with that regrowth. And that is going to be a 2-4-0. We're not even going for temples. Well, Blinks is thinking maybe he should. And at the very least, this is going to be a keep for complexity.
Well, this is a little bit scary, though. They've got Apollo, Prismaticism, and Tiger JK waiting right there. Even though it's only 3 people fighting a keep with that, that's a little bit too much, so they will back off here.
Yeah, the safer play is to back off and secure a temple. The temple by itself, even with that mule, there's enough shots in the bank to take it down. And that is going to be something that you really need because we're getting into this late game. It's 16 minutes in and level 20 is on the horizon here for complexity.
Yeah, I'd really actually like to see Prismaticism using a couple shields on that keep to make sure it stays alive.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
there's still 10 shots left, and that mule is not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I was hoping I don't know. Actually, I think with shields, it might have been able to survive, but maybe not.
Yeah, but Prismaticism didn't shield. That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah, very true. Apollo, though, now going to use Tiger JK as well to go for these Siege Giants in the bot lane, hopefully getting a little bit of pushing pressure on that. They lose the keep in the top. That's a pretty big no.
It is. Even with those mills, it just was not enough. As he said, the Tastar shields might have made the difference. But level 29 to 19 and no temples, but there is a boss. You can see Prismaticism. He's just sitting there. He's looking with that Oracle to see if anybody's going to go for it. It is the only objective on the map right now.
Yeah, right now they're just they have to posture around it. But 20 to 19, those level 20 talents, as we didn't actually quite mention just yet. 3 bolts, a hardened shield, and a storm shield coming out there for complexity. Level 20 now getting hit here by Plato, some tangos. They pick up, of course, the Twilight Archon Indestructible, a bolt, probably, Nexus Frenzy.
Yeah. That's not an epic mount for him at all.
Yeah, and a Redemption. I wonder if that's a misclick.
Well, the Redemption probably isn't.
Well, the Redemption isn't. No, I mean the
Nexus Frenzy, yeah. We don't have Giant Killer. We don't have Secret Weapon. We don't have anything to augment these auto attacks. But Falstead, as a duelist, has been able to excel at taking out people's single target. So with that in mind, I suppose Apollo's just thinking this will help him in that 1v1 situation. The thing is, this late into the game, you shouldn't be getting a 1v1 situation.
Oh my god, they take out the Malfurion so incredibly quickly, though. McIntyre has to use the bolt to disengage there. Tiger JK taking a good amount of damage in the back line, gets the shield to stay alive for a couple more seconds. That's okay, he's got the redemption. He will be able to come back up here. King Plato goes down. Now the Jaina using the ice block. There is a beautiful timed hammerang to go right in on that to condemn. Trying to take him out, but oh my god, McIntyre is able to get away for now. Trummel very low. Caterpillar getting caught in a awkward spot. He's going to be able to get taken out here as well. B-Kid looks like he's going for Trummel. There's the Trummel.
Yeah.
Because of Condemn, gets pulled right back in there. B-Kid taking a lot of damage yet again. Tiger JK throws down the heal. There's a single shrine up, though.
The one shrine, and it's right there for the picking for Pool Plato Some Tangos. They are still in this, believe it or not. It was a 2-for-2, but with that redemption, you know, they had to back off. The Uther with those shields, with the heals, my mistake. You know, the flash of lights coming back into it as well. The divine shields just not able to take down Johanna whatsoever. That's going to be the rest of the forts, and this is going to start working away at this bottom keep, but I don't think there's enough shots in order to take it down. We should have a mule for basically, yeah, it won't keep the towers, but it will keep the keep.
Yeah, the keep will stay alive for a little bit longer, and I'm curious to see if there's going to be any more math objectives taken here. I don't think they can go for the boss. No, they've only got 4 seconds before that. Anubra can back up. Tiger JK and Prismaticism trying to get away from complexity, and they should be able to do so. They're pretty low. I hope they go back home, maybe heal back up and come back out onto this field.
Everybody's eyeing this boss, man.
Yeah.
They're like a hungry man and a steak, and this is the steak.
Well, the boss is a very dangerous steak to eat. It's one that's just littered with bones that you wouldn't even expect to have. It's just,
Snake
you think
steak.
you're safe for it, and then all of a sudden, something goes horribly awry.
So nobody started it yet, but there's a lot of posturing. Apparently Vala. Where the hell did Vala die? She died bottom.
She's trying to push out the Siege Giants, but that...
Everybody in her team was mid. Why was she bottom? That is a big, big problem going into this last fight.
Well, they're going for the boss. I don't know if they can survive for this long, though. Prismatic System does have to use the dimensional shift to stay alive for a little bit longer. The boss is so incredibly low. B-Kid trying to fight with Caterpillar. There is a Phoenix. They're trying to stay out of the circle of it. There is Caterpillar going on in there. They're taking a lot of damage. There is a huge Vigilance Blast with the overdrive to go in. There's the invulnerability on B-Kid, but Apollo is super, super low. In fact, this might actually be a little bit of an overcommit from Plato's. They are now down to 2 fighting members, whereas Complexity's got 4 people still up. B-Kid falls as well. 5 people lost. The boss goes to Complexity.
And that is game, ladies and gentlemen. There is absolutely no way Complexity is going to let a boss plus double temples stand in their way between game number 3 and victory. Doesn't even need the Vala. They didn't even need Vala.
The difficulty there was the Phoenix was just keeping them in such a tight little area that the Flame Strikes were just doing so much damage. Hans was just able to lay waste to the backline so easily with those Flame Strikes, and there's the core falling 30% below, and now finally 0.
Good game, well played, ladies and gentlemen. Your cup number 31 victors of the ESL Heroes Go4Heroes Americas is going to be Complexity Gaming. Congratulations to them on $100 bragging rights and some good practice in before the next July qualifiers for the Road to BlizzCon, which is happening next weekend.
Yeah, they played incredibly well, but more impressively was, I think, Plato's some tangos were able to really dance, do a tango, if I may, with Complexity.
You may not.
They had, huh?
You may not.
Oh, okay. I may not. Never mind then. They were able to put up a pretty good dance with Complexity. That was a very, very back and forth best of 3 between the 2 of them. So I'm very, very curious to see how well they're going to do in the July Open. That happens next week.
$25,000 on the line. Complexity has been absolutely on fire in every single game series that we've seen in the last month or so. They've gotten better and better and better. Don't know what the Abathur thing was. Just gonna sweep that one under the rug. But
we'll talk about that when we're older, I'm sure.
We'll have a pint to be like, remember that Abathur game? I don't know. I don't know what that was about, but at the same time, I mean, Complexity, they've just been getting better and better as time goes on. I cannot wait to see what they are going to do in the July Open, but for now, they will take a well-earned rest, $100 to their name, and Plato some tangos. You know, they're not to be underestimated. If that's anything I take away from this, they are not to be underestimated.